Welcome back to the YouTube channel of Phantom Rider 698. I am the Phantom Rider. Here in front of me is Shadow the motorcycle. Today is a beautiful day. We are out of the garage and enjoying some nice sunny weather here in Washington State. And today, my friends, we are going to go over changing your spark plugs in the 2015 Honda Shadow Phantom motorcycle. For this video, like I said, we're going to be going over changing the spark plugs for your motorcycle. I would recommend changing the spark plugs at least once a year, depending on how much you ride or how you have your carbs adjusted, or what other kind of accessories or conditions that you have under your motorcycle. I preferably like to change my spark plugs once a year. Sometimes I'll even go as far as changing them just before I take a long trip, like what we're going to do in July. But today I'm going to show you the how we change the spark plugs without having to take the gas tank off. It can be kind of tricky for a couple of the spark plugs, but it can be done. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you guys where the spark plugs are located on the 2015 Honda Shadow Phantom. And here is one right in the back here. The other is towards the front of the engine, just in front of the air filter. The other two, as we walk around Shadow, the easiest one to locate them all is right here. And then the fourth one is going to be back in this spot here. So what we're going to do today, you guys, is we're going to use the compact drill that I have here, special format for 3/8" bits. So I have an adapter, a extended 17mm socket, and then this guy on the end here is specifically designed for the Honda Shadow Phantoms, or Honda Shadow series, more or less, to reach in and take those spark plugs out. This tip right here is going to be what grabs onto the spark plug, and this size right here is going to fit a 17mm size socket or wrench or whatever you have to use to take these spark plugs out. They are pretty deep in these wells too, so you're going to be using every inch of this adapter to get that spark plug out of there. So I'm going to go ahead and each one in particular, you're going to take out the wire that just pops right out, and there is also a rubber dam there, and you can just pop it out far enough to be able to slide it on out, and there you go. Now when you guys have the wire out, you always want to double check and make sure the inside of this thing is clean and I don't see any like carbon buildup or any kind of debris or anything like that shouldn't be in there. So the next thing I'm going to do is move the wire out, the starting wire out of the way, and we're going to take the drill and we're going to put it into the hole. We're going to take the spark plug out, and I'm going to do that right now. I'll show you guys the spark plug when we get it out. Alright, so now what we are going to do is we're just going to carefully pull that thing right back out. And here's the deal: if your spark plug doesn't come out with this socket, not a problem at all. Let me show you what you can use to get it out of there. The magnet on the end of an extendable stick works wonders. You can get these things for like $3-4 at just your local automotive shops. Hardware stores might even have them, but there's a magnet on the end there, and we're just going to slide that right into place, and there's your spark plug, just in case you guys ever need to get a spark plug out that doesn't come out with the socket. So when it comes to spark plugs, what I'm looking for on here is the combustion spot right here, and to see how much carbon buildup is there. And then we're also checking the gap between the actual metal rod here and the spark here as well. Now, like I said in an earlier video, my motorcycle has a custom carburetor, fuel jet kind of thing on it, so I'm going to have a little bit more buildup here than I normally would if I didn't run that. So, which is why I like to preferably change these out probably once every 6 months to a year, pushing it to a year, but generally once every 6 months. And as it looks, this one does look pretty worn out. So we're just going to definitely replace that one, and we're going to take the other 3 out in the process, replace all those, and I'll show you guys what the plugs look like comparatively between the new and the old before I put everything back together. So here's a pretty good side-by-side comparison. Here are the old 4 here and the new one right there, and as you can see these were definitely due for a change. I preferably use the NGK brand of spark plug. I'm sure there's other brands out there, but NKJ, these seem to automatically be adjusted to what they should be for the gap, as you can see there, specifically for a Honda Shadow Phantom or any Honda Shadow series that NGK is selling for. So it's a big reason why I like to use these spark plugs, and they're just in general pretty decent spark plugs, but as you guys can tell, these are definitely in need of change. So we got all 4 out. We're going to put all the new ones into place, and then we'll fire it up and see how it turns out. The important thing to remember here, you guys, is that just hand tighten in as much as you can. And you don't want to definitely torque these too much and cause any damage to your cylinder heads and all that kind of stuff too. So that's why I hand tighten it, and then I'll take the socket, and then I'll just kind of give it a little bit more of a snug fit on there. That way I know it's on there for sure. There he is, right down there. And we aren't gonna, oh yeah, we're not gonna torque that any more than we already have. Then we're gonna put our cap on, our last cap. Just pops into place, and there you go. Spark plugs are changed. Last thing we do is just fire this beast up and make sure everything is running accordingly. And that's all there is, you guys. It's not very difficult to change your spark plugs. The only thing that you want to do is make sure you get all 4 spark plugs put in right. If you don't, it can create a little bit of that popping sound like you heard just a second ago. So I just went around and tightened up the spark plugs and made sure the seals were solid, and we're good to go. But the important part is just to always remember not to torque the spark plugs on too much. You don't want to do any kind of damage to the actual metal components of your motorcycle, and it can be done without having to take the gas tank off. So it's a relatively easy job if you know what you're doing. I hope this video was able to help you guys out in figuring out how to change your own spark plugs. If you guys have any questions, comments, or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments section. Hit the like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.